So, I got an email the other day. It wasn't from my ex-husband, it was from his new fiancée. And man, she was losing her mind. All caps, exclamation points, the whole 9 yards. Apparently, her dream wedding had just been canceled, and it was all my fault. Why? Because I had just legally and very quietly drained his entire retirement account. She called me a monster, a thief, but she doesn't know the whole story. I didn't steal a single dime. Honestly, he practically forced me to take it. He wanted to play a game of ego, and I just made sure he won exactly what he deserved. You ever dealt with someone who needs absolute control over you? You know exactly how this goes. Before we get into how a simple $12,000 mistake totally ruined his life, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And if you believe in karma, you're definitely in the right place. All right, let's back up.
2012, we just had our first baby. Everyone tells you it's supposed to be the best time of your life, right? But for me, it just felt like a door locking. He didn't ask me to quit my job. He pretty much demanded it. And once the paycheck stopped, I realized how trapped I was. That was when the mask completely came off. By the time our second kid was 2, I found out he was cheating. But honestly, the affair wasn't even the worst part. It was the screaming, the mind games. The house was just tense all the time. My hands would physically shake when I held my baby. The day I finally packed his bags and threw him out was the day he put his hands on our oldest. I was terrified, but I was done arguing. I thought getting him out of the house was the hard part. I was wrong.
Look, I had 2 toddlers, no job, no family nearby. I couldn't even afford a babysitter so I could go to job interviews, and he knew it. I remember begging him for money just to buy diapers. He looked right through me, totally blank, and goes, "The court hasn't ordered me to give you a dime." Let that sink in. He was totally fine with his own kids going without, just to remind me who had the power. He even called the bank, claimed fraud, and got my personal accounts frozen. When I finally filed for divorce, he lost it. The court ordered child and spousal support, but of course, he refused to pay. Not until the state stepped in and forcefully garnished his wages. By then, he owed me thousands, and I used that exact money to pack up and move away with the kids.
Fast forward, we're divorced. I'm remarried to a great guy, finally sleeping through the night. Then one day, I'm looking through my old court papers, and I notice this tiny detail on the spousal support agreement. There's a box that says, "Support stops upon remarriage if checked." His super expensive lawyer forgot to check the box. Because of that typo, legally, he owed me an extra year of support. It was about 12 grand. Now, I also knew I was entitled to half his 401k retirement fund, but I was just so exhausted. I wanted a clean break. So I made a deal in my head. I keep the 12 grand, he keeps his retirement. Fair trade. We walk away. But guys like him, they don't want to walk away. They want to crush you.
2017, out of nowhere, he files for sole custody. He just couldn't stand that I moved on. And during all the legal back and forth for this pointless lawsuit, his lawyer catches the $12,000 mistake. My ex is furious. He drags me into court, demanding the money back. We're literally standing right there in front of the judge, and I offer him the deal. I look right at him and say, "Let me keep the 12, and I won't touch your 401k. He actually smirked at me, said no, demanded the cash. Well, the judge looked at the case. Since my ex was the one who dragged everyone back to court, they had to reassess his current income. Turns out he was making way more money now, so the judge bumped up my child support and ordered the 12K to be paid back through that adjustment. The math worked out so perfectly that I actually gained an extra $20 a month. So basically, he paid himself back. He dropped the custody thing, thinking he'd won on paper. So, since he rejected my peace treaty, I went ahead and filed for his 401k. He panicked. He dragged the process out for 4 agonizing years, dodged calls, refused to sign papers, played as dirty as you can imagine. It got so bad the judge slapped him with contempt of court and fined him $600 a month purely for wasting everyone's time. He wanted a war, so I gave him one. May 2021. The check from his retirement account finally shows up in the mail. I won't give you the exact number, but let's just say it was exactly 4 times the $12K he was fighting me over. It wiped out his savings. Which brings us back to his new fiancée, screaming at me over email, "You ruined him! We can't afford a wedding!" I didn't even feel mad. I just felt bad for her. I typed back, "I gave him a choice. He chose the hard way. If you really want to marry him, get a prenup." Her response, "I shouldn't need a prenup because you took everything." The delusion is just wild. I never wanted his money. I tried to walk away, but his ego wouldn't let him take the easy way out. In the end, his pride cost him his savings, his driver's license from unpaid fees, and basically, his entire future. These people, they don't need you to destroy them. If you just step back, follow the law, and take the emotion out of it, they will always destroy themselves. What would you guys have done? Would you have warned the new fiancé, or just let her figure it out the hard way? Drop a comment below. I read every single one of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.